Yeah, I know. Unbound was 2 months ago, but here we are now. This is my race recap of what went right, what went wrong, how did I feel when I was out there, and will I ever be dumb enough to do this race again? For anyone new to cycling, Unbound 200 is like the biggest gravel race of the year. It's a 200-mile gravel race in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, with some of the most gnarliest terrain I've ever seen, unpredictable weather, and some of the fastest riders in the world. But for most of us, it's not about winning, it's just surviving the damn thing. Now, this was my first proper cycling event, let alone my first gravel race. I mean, there was a freaking helicopter at the start, bruv. Like a legit, proper cycling race. It was so cool. I did this race with my friends Brad and Rob, who were basically the reason I signed up for this madness. Now, the crowd vibe was amazing. Everyone's buzzing, everyone's on a high of adrenaline, and the idea that we're about to ride our bikes all day long. The one thing I did get right was my nutrition was on point. I had everything logged out 1 week in advance, carb loading 3 days before, I was hydrating like crazy, electrolytes and the works. And even my nutrition on the day was absolutely spot on. I even had my food for my rest stop planned out, as you only have 2 rest stops for the entire 200-mile race. So I had all of this logged out. The only problem I had was the night before I got 1 hour's sleep. I think I was in bed realizing what I was about to put myself through, and my brain decided to turn on the self-doubt mode. So that was the only thing that I could have maybe done better. Now, it was chaos from the start. Rob disappeared, Brad had chain issues, and we dropped further back than what we wanted to. The group that we wanted to be with was kind of leaving us in the distance, so we decided to make the decision and burn a match early to try and chase them back. As soon as we caught them up, they had a crash, and the field that we were with caught us up. So the match that we burned was a complete waste of time. And that was pretty much the feel for the first 40 minutes, was a gap would open up and there'll be a crash that closes everyone back down.
Everybody okay?
There was a section that was really slippy and really wet around the 40-mile mark, and there was a lot of accidents. I think one of the female pros had a really bad crash there. And I was taking it easy because I was on road shoes and I didn't want to unclip at any point because, you know, even though Unbound is a gravel race, I am wearing road shoes no matter what. Because my philosophy is, I am not putting my feet down until I get to a rest stop. There's some foreshadowing there.
Mate, I fell, but not very fast. Take the mud. Still wearing road shoes. Let's go, me baby, let's go.
Always on go, feel like I'm never home. Pockets so swole, it's time to let it go. Got me going dumb, like I'm illiterate. Know you feeling it, I got you feeling this heat rise. Have you ever stayed up to the sunshine? Came through fourth quarter in a crush time. Need to go flee on the rail like just one time. Have a fun time. Know you feeling it, I got you feeling it. Know you feeling it, I got you feeling it. I'm going way up like to the moon. Get up and get it, yeah, I zoom. Money keeps falling, I need a broom, might sweep. Straight off the humble, I don't tweet. Family around me don't say a peep. Got what you need, so what you need. I'm in the earth that might seize, and I watch them grow till I say my piece.
We eventually got in with a fast group doing some rotations, which was really good timing at that point because there was a brutal headwind. We got to the first rest stop and I took on some gels, some carb mix, I ate some solid food, so everything so far so good. Then, at the 100-mile mark, I took my first low point.
Woo. All right, we're 100 miles in, 5.5 hours in, and the struggle bus is officially taking tickets. Shit, man, it's the heat. The heat is insane. There's no shade. Let's keep going.
The group that we were with, the pace was so much higher than what I wanted it to be, and the sun. Oh man, the sun. Not a single cloud in the sky. Now I thought training in Atlanta, I would have no problem with the heat because I'm used to the heat and humidity, but it turns out that we actually have quite a lot of shade here with the buildings and the trees, and in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, there are definitely no buildings. So it's you out there slowly dehydrating in this sun. That was the one thing I wish I took more serious, and I wish I could go back now and shake myself and be like, be prepared for the sun. Because it's funny what heat exhaustion does, because at one point there was quite a technical climb coming up. It was pretty steep and I was probably in my smallest gear, biggest gear, I still don't know. And I was barely able to turn over the pedals at this point, and I was just slowly making it up this hill. I had somebody in front of me and we were kind of doing the same pace, and then they just couldn't pedal anymore and they, unclipped and stepped off. I then had nowhere to go, so I then had to unclip. Now normally I'm a pretty chill person, but at that moment I definitely let my frustration show.
No. Oh. Okay.
You alright?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
One of my single feet. I ended up doing 4 laps with that feet down.
As you can see here, I am struggling to clip back in. That is not because I have road shoes on, but it's because I'm slowly dying inside. As I just realized that the group that I am with are slowly disappearing in the horizon. Now we're at the point where something happened that actually saved my race. However, In traditional vlogging whilst you're riding your bike, I didn't actually get this on camera. Now, before the race, we were told that about 133 miles in, there would be a river crossing. And this person scouted the river crossing and specifically said, hey, you can ride through it as long as you stay to the left-hand side. My brain at 133 miles in was a bit foggy. So I decided to go straight through the middle of this river, where I hit a massive rock. I lost all of my momentum and I couldn't unclip fast enough and I just fell straight into this river. However, when I did, the cold water hit me like a shot of espresso. And I was basically baptized in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and I came out a new man. I was completely refreshed. I think the cold shock just instantly woke every little cell in my body straight back up, and I was ready to go. I got myself out of the river and I actually caught up the group that I was with.
So, I fell in the river during one of the crossings and got absolutely drenched. And I was pretty hanging until that moment, but that was maybe the best fall I've ever had. Straight in a puddle of fresh water. I might get some kind of disease tomorrow, but at least I feel good right now. Just coming up to the very last stop at about 1:44. But, man, this is hard. Man, I have no idea how the pros do this at their pace. But let's get some food.
At mile 144, we had our final rest stop. I took on some more gels, I took on some more carb mix, and I ate some more solid food. However, this is another area where I think I messed up slightly. You see, later on in the race, I was pouring the water on me to keep me cool. So I wish at the last rest stop I took on extra water, or that I stopped for longer just to cool down. I think if I waited 10 more minutes at the rest stop and didn't rush, it would have probably saved me more later on, as you'll find out. And the other thing that I wish I did was, I wish I took on different type of food for later on in the race. You see, when you're 10 hours into a race, you kind of get sick of carb mix. You kind of get sick of gels. And the thought process of putting another one in my mouth was not good. Because at one point, I couldn't keep any gels down. And I was basically running on empty for the last 2 hours. I just couldn't drink anything that was sweet. Now, unfortunately, after the second rest stop, the group that I was with kind of got broken up because we all went to slightly different locations to get our SAG support. So when I came out, I was kind of just on my own, which is kind of crazy that you start with so many people and then you find yourself with just nobody around you. And I was slowly running out of water. Like I said, I kept pouring water on me, not really being that conservative. And at around the 160 mark, I was really struggling. Like, I am now getting cold chills when I can tell you this, it was not cold.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm like at 160. I just had to pull over. I'm cooked. Absolutely cooked.
However, in the distance, like a mirage, there was a family with a giant water tank handing out water like it was a kid's birthday party.
Oh my God, yes. I need that so bad. Oh.
So I made sure to stop there, and I could not thank them enough. They were literally some of the nicest people I ever met, and they were just making sure that everyone had enough food, everyone had enough water. It was the motivation I needed at that time. It was great. A few other riders stopped, and you sort of just rebuilt some energy.
Thank you. All right, good luck, yeah? Good luck, man.
So I took on some more water, but honestly, 5, 6, 7 miles later, you just feel cooked again. You needed that next little bit to lift you up. At this point, I had the check engine light flashing and I was just on limp home mode. Just doing enough to keep the pedals going. At this point, I just couldn't take on any more food. Like the sweetness from the gel was just making me feel sick. So I think I was slowly burning the energy that I had and I was slowly just running on empty. Now, as we got closer, we started to see more people, we started to see more vehicles, and that was kind of the uplifting thing that I needed. Because as it turns out, the threshold for racing bicycles for me is around the 9-hour mark, and we are way past that at this point. I was ready mentally writing the Facebook market ad for my gravel bike. One careful owner.
Man, so tempting to jump in. Woo!
The morning light is wandering on my face. I can't believe I know the day, the time, the place. I drive around in a city full of shade. Everything feels hollow when you are away. When it all comes down.
Now, I was so close to the end, but there was one more climb, but thankfully it was on tarmac.
Said I can't love anyone but you, and I know exactly what to do. You said I can't love anyone but you. I'm sorry you think you want to.
And then there was the finish. And honestly, for the riders like me who have absolutely no chance of winning this race and it is just about surviving, it is an emotional roller coaster, this race. There are some crazy highs, there are definitely many lows, loads of self-doubt, loads of self-motivation, motivation from other people. Like, I cannot explain to you how many times my emotion changed in this whole race. I swear, man, I was gonna cry at one point. But crossing the line is like a personal win, if I'm gonna be honest. I've never ridden my bike for that long and that far before on tarmac, let alone on gravel. And obviously everybody wants to know the final time. Now, my riding time was 11 hours and 37 minutes. And my total time was 12 hours and 17 minutes, which I'm pretty happy with. It means I really only stopped pedaling for like a 45-minute period, which is not bad, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I am really happy with how I performed on the day. Is there things I could have done better? Yeah, I'm pretty sure even if the person who won the race will say there are things that they could have done better. For me, personal win, I'm gonna high five myself for that one. And to be honest, the next day, I didn't feel as bad as I thought I would. But the big question, would I do this again? No. For me, it's a one and done. I still have slight PTSD whenever I see a tire that's bigger than 45 mil. Gravel is fun, and I'll probably do more gravel races in the future, but racing your gravel bike for 200 miles, now that's something different. I've done that. No thank you. I'm out. I'll see you at the pub. And I have new respect for the pros who do that race in 8.5 hours. Mental, mate. That is mental. I can't imagine the pace that they are going. Now, if you're planning on doing Unbound in the future, or you've done Unbound in the past, or even did Unbound this year, I want to know your experience. So please leave your stories in the comments below. I honestly am blown away at this race of anyone who does it. I don't care if you did it in 8.5 hours or you did it in 18 hours. Just finishing this is an achievement, so pat yourself on the back because that is awesome. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I've got some more videos coming out. Hit that like button, drop us a comment, that'll be lovely jubbly. The algorithm seems to like it when people interact with this video. And I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.